Another Japanese hunter, Izawa, asked Kenzo if it was time to stop them, but Kenzo replied that it seemed like Ryuji was taking the fight seriously. Lim Taegyu commented on how terrifying their attacks were, noting that even his eyes could barely track their movements. Dongwook observed that, despite facing one of Japan's strongest hunters, Jinwoo was managing to avoid all of Ryuji's attacks, which was an impressive feat in itself. In Heian's mind, however, Jinwoo wasn't just hanging in there. He was allowing Ryuji to attack over and over. Zhang Yin, seeing the match, commented that it looked like an exciting fight had unfolded while he was out for a smoke. As Ryuji continued to attack, he wondered if Jinwoo was just lucky as he dodges all his attacks, or if there was something more to him. He realized that unless he went all out, he might not land a hit. Determined, Ryuji decided to go all in and kill Jinwoo. In that moment, Jinwoo's system alerted him to an enemy nearby, with murderous intent. Jinwoo noticed a cut on his cheek as Ryuji released another devastating strike. The impact sent shockwaves through the air. Ryuji was taken aback when he found his hand suddenly caught by Jinwoo. Jinwoo thought to himself that if he will keep playing around, he would end up with an urgent quest, like Hwang Dong-suk or Kang Tae-sik. Jinwoo then calmly told Ryuji that if he had been a second late, he would have lost an eye. Ryuji, stunned, couldn't understand how Jinwoo was so strong. Worse, he thought that Jinwoo could have grabbed his wrist, but he purposefully grabs his hand instead. Enraged, Ryuji demanded to know if Jinwoo was just toying with him. Jinwoo, unfazed, replied that he had no idea what Ryuji was talking about, but he knew that the fight would end once he held his wrist. He then asked Ryuji, "You don't want to end things here, right?" The two locked eyes and both released powerful auras, as if they were about to finish each other off. The hunters watching were taken aback by what they were witnessing. As they nearly charged at each other, Yunho and Heian intervened, stopping Jinwoo. On the other side, Hashino held Ryuji back. He created an ice wall between them to forcibly halt the match before things escalated any further. Yunho, now in control, told Jinwoo that the fight had gone too far, and that Ryuji was in charge of leading the Japanese in the coming days. Heian added that no one would handle the consequences if something happened to Ryuji. Yunho then instructed Hanakawa to call it a day, as the sparring session had gotten too heated. Hanakawa agreed. Once everything calmed down, Yunho asked Jinwoo if he had overstepped any boundaries. Jinwoo shook his head and smiled, reassuring him that it was fine. Dongwook, impressed, praised Jinwoo for his performance against the mighty Goto Ryuji, noting that he only had a cut on his cheek. He also mentioned that Jinwoo had a great build, and that his guild was full of mages, but lacked fighters. Dongwook asked Jinwoo if he would consider joining them if he didn't have a guild of his own. From afar, Jongin overheard and commented that Jinwoo was a mage-type hunter. Dongwook was seen in shock as he heard this. Jinwoo then reflected that he had gotten a bit too excited. He thought to himself that he had now had close encounters with figures like Chairman Go, Choi Jongin, Chahane, Baek Yunho, and now Goto Ryuji. Despite all of them are S ranks, Jinwoo knew that none of them had noticed his soldiers hiding in their shadows, not even Goto Ryuji. Suddenly, Jinwoo called out to Chairman Go, asking if he was asking him to participate in the Jeju Island raid. Chairman Go, taken aback, realized that Jinwoo had made his decision. The chapter ended with Hanakawa, concerned, calling Goto Ryuji's name as she saw the S-rank hunter, clearly terrified and drenched in sweat after the match with Jinwoo.